First, I'll share with you a report published in My Republica English from Nepal. Indian President Ramnath Kovind conferred the honorary rank of General of the Indian Army on Chief of Staff of Nepal Army, Prabhu Ram Sharma, at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Wednesday. The Nepali and the Indian armies traditionally honor each other's chiefs by conferring on the honorary rank of general, given the close military ties that the two neighbors share. General Sharma is currently visiting India at the invitation of his Indian counterpart, Manoj Mukunda Narwane. This report also hints at the importance of the military relations between Nepal and India. Indian Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narwane had also received this honorary title, of General of the Nepal Army from none other than the President of Nepal, Bidya Devi Bhandari, recently. So this is a reciprocal exchange of honorary titleship. This honorary titles. Then let me share with you, this is all honky-dory. This is like good times, generals having good times, but our relations are not going through our bilateral relations are definitely not going through very good times. So let me share with you some more reports. There is this report published in scroll.india. It's an Indian news site, as you have already known, I guess, as you already know about it. This talks about the Lipulek Limpiadhura Kalapani dispute between Nepal and India. Nepal has been saying all along that this territory, this is a roughly 400 kilometer, roughly a 400 square kilometer territory, and Nepal has been saying that it belongs to her, been pointing all along that the Indian troops sought refuge in that territory, in that Nepali territory, after India's defeat in the 1962 war with China. At that time, like, they were ragtag troops seeking refuge after their defeat. At that time, Nepal granted them like kind of like refuge, but in course of time, the Indian side fortified its presence in that territory, and when Nepal requested that they just leave that territory, India refused. India refused to budge. That is the case with this Limpiadhura, Lipulek, Kalapani area. India claims that it is a disputed territory, whereas Nepal has been consistent in its claims that this territory you occupied, and this territory clearly belongs to us. And let me share with you another report. In fact, this despite this photo op, despite these good vibes, Nepal-India relations have been very turbulent. Every other day, we get to read We just get to watch reports about Indian security personnel, Indian populations encroaching upon Nepali territories. Every other day, we get to almost every other day, we get to read reports about Indian SSB personnel in particular thrashing Nepali people living along the border on the Nepali side. And we just get to read reports about unauthorized entry of Indian and people displaced from the extended neighborhood, like the Rohingyas from Burma, Myanmar, I mean, the present day Myanmar. And we also read reports about Bangladeshi people just sneaking into Nepali territories through that border that is open on the Nepali side. And it should be noted that this illegal movement is not possible without uh, these people passing through through Indian territories, and the Indian troops, the Indian security agencies looking the other way when they just sneak into Nepal through their territories. I just talked about this Kalapani dispute. Let me add a bit into it. Just a few days ago, just a few months ago, Jai Singh Dhami, a youth from Darchula district, was crossing into the Indian territory through the Mahakali River. He had that compulsion. He was not like involved in any illegal activity. He was just crossing into the the Indian territory by using that rope-like thing. They call it twin. Between Nepal and India, there is this Mahakali River, and it's not like you cannot just cross the river just like that. You have to there is this twin like rope like thing through which you cross into the Mahakali River, and he had to cross that river and enter the Indian territory because he was bound for Khalanga, the district headquarters of Darchula district. He had to just travel to the district headquarters, Khalanga, through Indian territories because there are no proper routes in Nepali territories through which one can travel to Khalanga, the district headquarters of Darchula. This youth was traveling to Khalanga to just have some paperwork done. He was bound for abroad. He was leaving for abroad for this foreign employment. Just when he was crossing the river through that twin, the Indian SSB personnel untied that twin that was tied to a tree on their side of the border. And when they just untied that rope, Jai Singh Dhami fell into the river and he went missing. After that incident, the Nepali authorities asked the Indian authorities to let them use drones to search for the missing Nepali youth, but the Indian side refused. A couple of days, this incident took place about 2.5 months ago, and when just a couple of days after that incident, after Jai Singh Dhami went missing, the Indian side flew helicopters over very vital defense security installations of Nepal that was in blatant violation of Nepal's airspace. They flew over the Nepal Army barracks in Darchula district headquarters, that is Khalanga. They flew over the APF, the Armed Police Force of Nepal. They flew over the barracks of the Armed Police Force of Nepal. They flew over the Nepal Police Office, such vital installations in blatant violation of Nepal's airspace. Despite repeated requests from the authorities of Nepal, their illegal flights continued for some days. And just months after this disturbing incident, uh, there came other reports about these Indian SSB just entering into Nepal, into the disputed region of Susta. The disputed region is there. The Susta has been like a major flashpoint between Nepal and India, apart from this Kalapani, Lipulek, Limpiadhura region. But this chunk of land in the Susta region was not at all disputed. It was like a Nepali territory, clearly a Nepali territory. Nepal has been claiming that the Susta, this hectares, thousands of hectares of land in Susta belongs to her. But India considers it a disputed territory. I think it's 40,000 hectares of land. What happened recently was that SSB, the Indian Seema Sashastra Bal personnel, entered into this territory, and just they flew drones into the Nepali territory. They took measure of that land. This picture shows the Indian SSB just measuring that land. It's on the banks of the Narayani River, by the way. These SSB personnel taking measure of the land. They were also, as per the reports, flying drones over Nepal's airspace in that region. For what purpose, we don't know. This is one more instance of Indian high-handedness against Nepal. And when this locals informed about this incident, our security agencies, our defense security agencies had no knowledge of this aggression, this act of aggression, this act of flying drones over Nepali territories in Susta. And when they informed about this incident, Dharmendra Kumar Sharma, Chief District Officer of the West Nawalparasi, said he was himself heading for Susta to take stock of the situation. This entry of the SSB into Nepali territory had to be confirmed, although the locals had informed that the SSB had entered the Nepali territory. The locals, this is a report published in this, The Rising Nepal. It's a government-owned, a government-published National Daily of Nepal. So it has this stamp of authority about what actually happened there. So this act of this transgression, this unprovoked act from the Indian side has the local people of Susta terrified. It is already, this area is already under encroachment, and there are indications that the Indian side is preparing to encroach upon this territory further. This begs a question. While our youths have been laying their lives in defense of India, in defense of Indian national interests, in defense of India, there is this Indian troops just encroaching upon Nepali territories every other day, uh, entering into Nepali territories illegally, thrashing local people, and there is we almost every day we get to just read reports about Indian people along the border, entering into Nepali territories, capturing the lands of Nepali peoples, cultivating crops, beating Nepali people with support from Indian troops. And here we have this, we never get tired of talking about this special relations between the two countries, just existing for ages, these so-called relations, these paraphernalia, these conferment of honorary generalship on each other's army chiefs. They are all there, but on the ground, our relations are unequal, and this kind of high-handedness from the Indian side will not solve our interests. Neither will they solve the interests of India, nor will they solve the interests of Nepal. Uh, this behavior, this high-handedness in Susta, months after the Indian aggression in Darchula, comes at a time when India's relations with China are at an all-time low. India seems to be just losing ground in her relations with India, like it seems to have been losing territories along the border with China. Is this act of aggression, is this act of aggression in Nepal a desperate attempt of India to regain in Nepal what it has lost in her relationship with China? This is an open question, and with this question, I just wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I appeal to the Indian populations, the Indian leadership, to just take into consideration the relationship with Nepal before just embarking on any other misadventure, like just another violation of Nepal's airspace, another act of encroachment upon Nepali territory. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.